Hello, everyone. Welcome to the video. It's your king, the absolute king and the greatest person to have ever exist. I'm Dylan, and I got a video here about Disventure Camp. Now, the season All Stars was the third season of Disventure Camp. In Survivor, All Stars was the eighth season, making sense. You could bring people from across 7 seasons. That's about 3 people per season. Four, since one season had no likable people, Abbed another hadn't aired yet. All makes sense. An all-star season with just 2 seasons to pull from. Yeah, I guess it makes sense for a cartoon show. You can't reach around from multiple seasons if you haven't gotten many. And you have characters whose arcs you want capitalize and fulfill as soon as possible. You can't wait 5 years for an extended roster. And it would be too many characters who haven't interacted with other characters from different seasons. You got to have familiar dynamics, can't go making new ones so randomly when certain characters were made to be built next to someone that was designed on their season together. I'm explaining basically nothing, just going off of a bit of gripe for me. But a major gripe for everybody else is that this season sucked. Ruined characters, gave us bad dynamics over and over again that nobody wanted to see. It's all basically nothing good. So I am rewriting the season a bit here. Not just a bit, but I am going to be going over different scenarios and different ways to go across. I do have 2 main versions you can go with and a couple of other different routes I'll touch upon. I want to go over as many different ideas that could have been done rather than us getting Ally v Jake, the feud of the century. Everybody get your tickets. We are selling out Madison Square Garden for this epic clash. Stand aside, John Cena and Randy Orton. You wish you could have a story this compelling. But seriously, I'm going to get into the season rewrite. Starting with keeping things the same, I'll just say here that most pre-merge eliminations are the same. First boot, firmer winner, James, 17th place, Lake. But I will change that. Ellie should talk to Tom before Tribal. It was bad strategy to do everything so openly, turning Lake and Aiden for sure against Tom, not having time to think about it. It is somewhat a callback to his short on time, pressured decision elimination in season 1, but come on, this was stupid and just for drama. Ellie is smarter. 16th, Miriam, 15th, Hunter, and now for the first real change is 14th place, Yule. It just makes sense for me for this elimination where Yule's bad gameplay comes to bite him. Of bad Survivor players didn't get to stick around just because they are actively sabotaging everything around them. So the logic here is Alec, after being exposed for the Villains Alliance looking like threat number 1, when it comes to the merge, decides he's going to make it look like Villains Alliance is nothing but a fabrication made up by Miriam on the way out. Getting rid of Yule, the least loyal and cool-headed member, it helps him in the long term not having a bad ally like him. And he pivots to a main alliance with Rhea and Connor while trying to keep Gret loyal, trying to make her understand why it had to happen. It makes sense for his character. Connor is a more loyal ally who will pledge himself to his only buddy who saved him and is too nice a guy to ever flip. And this will change Connor and Rhea's relationship because I hated how quickly they are just against each other and are that way for the rest if the season where Connor has the worst arc thinking Rhea can be brought back. If they spend more time with each other and Connor realizes for himself being allied with her than against her that Rhea is too bad. I think that will help a lot to make this more stomachable. It's less outright fighting and more small infighting between partners. Rhea will do what Alex says, thinking he's right. She's basically just his +1 number 1 ally. As for Yule, I know I am throwing away his story arc with Gret. The only real good thing post-merge, it's less satisfying if Gret isn't the cast of his elimination. But they really did nothing with trying to make Yule pretend to be nice with her in the pre-merge. It was just there for Emily and the host plot. So I'm fine cutting that out. There will be a conclusion to this later, or rather in the next part. I hope you watch because you'll be confused watching this all the way through and not finishing. But back to order. 13th Fiora, 12th Ellie, all the same until we reach 11th place. Ally, Yellow Tribe and Magenta Tribe go to elimination, but Cyan Tribe gets a chance to go to both camps. Alec, realizing he needs numbers, goes to Gabby, seeing her as weak and vulnerable, exploiting what happened to Ellie. Now, I do want to make changes to what happened between Gabby and Ellie because they're my favorite relationship, and I think it was mainly sidetracked. Now, Ellie doesn't tell Gabby thinking she can't keep a secret or play the game this kind of way, but tells Alec that Gabby better be safe, especially now that Yule is gone. Alec wants to keep his numbers with Ellie and is fine including Gabby. Now, after the villain's alliance is exposed, Ellie waits an episode or two before telling Gabby the truth so that she doesn't have to learn it herself. Gabby feels betrayed and a bit stand-awayish to Ellie, but wants to clear things with her. So Ellie sees this and feels bad about it and wants Gabby's forgiveness. In Ellie's boot episode, the ultimate lesbian couple talk here and clear up. It's fine, and Gabby agrees that the game is most important and they need to work together in it. But she still feels a bit about it. This maybe might not be needed, but Gabby wants to try playing for Ellie. Might be better if not this, since she would eventually try after Ellie's elimination, but she wants to make Ellie have fun outside of the money. Ellie understands and try lightening up for Gabby, which might also be too soon since her, ending in the finale does that her saying no to the money and caring more for Gabby. I just like these two together and wanted more from them. But this leads into Alec playing Gabby into allying with her, but Gabby wants Ally eliminated. First revenge against Tess, flipping, since Tess would have mentioned to Gabby when consulting her how her friendship with Hunter and Ally makes her mind right, and telling Gabby she needs someone like that, angering Gabby since she just eliminated the person who did that in Ellie. Allie is offering nothing to the story and needs to go sometime before that. I'll just say this about her, Ally. I don't hate her trying to play the game, so fans don't hate or her story. That's good development, but they just don't do that right. They are having her later play in a bad way, whether the fans like it or not, which makes her seem like and I want to use that word, but I'd feel awkward saying it. And no, some people might not like it. So I'll just say an annoying, loud woman who is justifying what she's doing, what's best for me, whether I get hated or not, when it's not great gameplay. She is just fighting with Jake and her being mad. He has people who like him better over her getting her mad. She throws the game to the villains, betraying her allies. Her rivalry with Jake makes sense. If you connect that she's in a failing relationship and Jake is in a failed relationship, it's so he can start a fight, picking on her, making the rivalry. But it just never came across right why in the show. Then creating trouble with her and Hunter is like, why? They didn't really focus on it. And after he's gone, there's a few moments she gets mad over mentions of it. Then after time apart, they get better at the end, which is either their problems weren't that bad if they make up after time apart, but was still a problem earlier, or it's they have issues. But let's just be better to wrap it up for the end of the season than later break up anyway. It's bad. And this is basically the only straight relationship in the whole series. Will was a first boot, so who cares about his life? And Ivy didn't make it past the merge. And at the same time, her relationship with Zayd is an afterthought. They try bringing in some last minute drama about her life as if, as an actress is different from his. And it's like, what? But back to Ally and Hunter, maybe have them break up at the end of season instead of having them be good at the end, but break up later. I prefer Tess with him, but unless they make my redemption made up season, it doesn't seem like there's going to be a happy relationship ending for anyone here. Anyway, but it would still all be just unsatisfying. Tess and Hunter would be better, but they made this relationship with Ally instead. Just have them three-way it. Thruples solve everything, don't they? This is the LGBTQ total drama show, so might as well have Tess and Ally together too. Am I right? Why else watch the show? They can give problems to Hunter and Ally and fight, but do something with it instead of just mentioning it and skipping over it. I'm sure there can be a better story for her. Another YouTuber suggested that the gamer girl could be an on-screen personality and reveal a different underneath personality to hide from being hated by the fans. But for me, there's just nothing you can do with Ally. I can't write it, so it's better just to have her leave midway through the season and get better with Hunter off screen so they're happy at the end. Their problems were never a big deal in the first place, but If I'm keeping Tess for ally, I have to do something with her, and I don't know what the original plans for her when they made her the runner-up. I've seen a YouTuber do their own rewrite with her as a villain, but I hope what I have for her is satisfying. It's the merge, and now you got the alliances of Alec, Rhea, loyal Connor, newly picked up Gabby, and Egret, who's decided to play smarter for Yule. They're up versus the team of Ashley and Jake, who's also versus the team of Tom, Aiden, plus Tess. So 10th place goes to Ashley. Pretty simple. Jake is being a prissy bitch, which everyone loves, so no one goes against the villains. Gret could try to betray Alec, but see the other side is a mess. Abd needs to play better. I will have the returnee be Ellie. I thought about having Yule back since he was the one who got replaced, and he has an unfinished story with Gret, and it would be better to bring him so Gabby and Gret can get closer together. But Yule is set up for an early merge elimination. If he comes back, he would have to make past a couple eliminations, and he's just not set up for a long run. It is deeply undercutting Yule's story if he isn't given a proper story, but I think it fits him and any other player like him to get eliminated as a result of their uncooperativeness and bullying behavior. Now, Ellie has a completed story arc in All Stars, and those shouldn't be changed if they're good. The only thing All Stars dies, right? But I'm gonna try not to change it that much. I have something I'm gonna use her for. Ellie is coming back, and she will be able to set in stone the alliance between her and Gabby to Alec's alliance. Gabby was hurt by Ellie's elimination, but her completely folding herself to the villain's side is a bit unrealistically. The campy villain fun did seem unrealistic, but Gabby wouldn't work with those people, unless Ellie was connecting her. So after Ashley is gone, Jake and Tom and Aiden, who are on the bottom, get along. They won't be around long to have these fights. 10th place now goes to Aiden. Ellie wants revenge against him, so she makes her uneasy alliance of 6 with the villains vote him out. There's logical reasoning behind this. He was the nicest person who could glue together the remaining outsiders. Tom and Jake starting to get better. They needed to get rid Aiden before the conflict fully goes away. There's also something personal here. I never liked Aiden, and his role in All Stars was just to hate Jake for his delusional boyfriend problems. He was uninteresting this season, and him being the last remaining player from the Cyan tribe at 7th place really shows how valuable that tribe was. In Survivor, they would definitely be scrubbed from the edit, but somehow Aiden had the 5th highest confessionals count. He quite literally did nothing interesting. The best part about him is the conflict with Ellie. 2 gay queens ripping at each other, both with sarcasm, and if you watched fans versus favorites, a villain's persona behind them, willing to do anything all for the game. Then the next round, there will be people having reservations about Alec and not really fully trusting him and his puppets. Rhea and Connor, Ellie and Gabby and Gret decided they will be switching to create majority with Tess. Tess and Ellie were a bit coming back after the betrayal, but Ellie will understand and still want to be friends. So she will connect to Tess and decide whether she trusts her more than Alec. Now, this is where my 2 main paths split up. The 9th place elimination will have everyone turn against the trio of Alec, Rhea, and Connor. And since Connor is just a puppet floater, it will be either Rhea and Alec who goes home. I'll explore both scenarios.